A very good afternoon. You're watching the 3 p.m. newscast. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Let's begin with our top focus on West Bengal, where there seems to be fresh violence breaking out near Diamond Harbour. Violence has broken out between the BJP and the TMC just ahead of Suvendu Adhikari and Abhishek Banerjee's respective rallies in each other's bastions. The blame game has also erupted after a blast that took place in East Medinipur, where 2 people were dead and 1 injured. Suvendu Adhikari has alleged that TMC leader Rajkumar Manna was making bombs at his home when this high-intensity explosion happened. Meanwhile, the TMC has accused Suvendu, saying of conceding the fact that bombs are present and that they are going to be hurled. TMC further said that Adhikari is plotting to hurl them because he is scared. For more details, let's quickly go across to Shaugato Mukhopadhyay, who will bring us the latest. Shaugato, if you could take us through the kind of violence that one has witnessed in Hathuganj. There's been arson, there's been vandalism, and what was the security force doing that time?
Well, this is exactly what everyone was apprehending may happen today, because these two public rallies at 2 different districts, as you rightly pointed out, being held by the leaders of the respective parties, BJP and Trinamool Congress, in each other's bastions, is a very high voltage political drama that is getting played out on the grounds of West Bengal in the run-up to the panchayat elections. And the target, of course, for both parties is to secure political foothold, gain their political acceptance amongst people in the run-up to the polls, which is scheduled to be held in 2 to 3 months' time from now. It's just the setting up of the stage. But when Suvendu Adhikari, who is currently now headed for his rally venue in Diamond Harbour in South 24 Parganas, which of course is the fortress of Abhishek Banerjee, that is where in Hathuganj, some 10 to 12 kilometers from the venue of the rally, there was a roadblock being put up on NH 117 by the Trinamool Congress workers who were apparently protesting central government policies. The BJP, of course, alleges that the roadblocks which were put up not just in Hathuganj but at various other places, including in Kulpi, in Namkhana, Kabji, and various places along that route, was put up just to ensure that the BJP workers do not reach the rally venue or do not reach the rally venue on time. And that is when Agnimitra Paul, the BJP leader, MLA of the party, reached the spot at Hathuganj and trying to figure out as to why the BJP workers are not being allowed to get past that blockade, is when the violence started. And we could see massive rampage taking place. The Trinamool Congress alleging that the rampage was being carried out by the BJP workers who vandalized shops and cars and vehicles and two-wheelers, and have even set fire to some of these vehicles on the road. Incessant brickbatting taking place from both sides. And police, of course, although present at the spot, according to the BJP, was largely inactive at the time of the violence. And right now we can see that a large police contingent is currently being moved to the location of the violence. Things are not as bad as it was looking some half an hour back. But let me tell you that the ground situation is extremely tense. And with Suvendu Adhikari now moving closer towards his rally venue, and these BJP workers now getting desperate to reach the rally venue, at all costs, things might just flare up once again. So that's one additional challenge that the local administration and the police currently face, and the situation on the ground remains very, very tense in places like Hathuganj and in the vicinity of that rally where Suvendu Adhikari is supposed to address. The rally which is being held by Abhishek Banerjee in Suvendu Adhikari's home ground, which is in Kontai in East Midnapur, however, looks much more peaceful in the sense that Abhishek Banerjee can be seen currently interacting with villagers in Mahishda, where he is talking to them, listening to their troubles and their complaints, and this he's doing before he reaches the rally point and addresses obviously all eyes and ears are currently on those rally venues where people waiting to watch and listen to what both these leaders have to say, especially against each other.
Shaukat, the other question that now arises, and the most obvious one, is that when you are talking about the kind of ominous indications that have been coming in, the fact that West Bengal is not new to violence, this was sort of anticipated. Why was there not adequate security arrangement when you ask the TMC, especially when it comes to the kind of violence that the BJP is facing before their rallies? The TMC is saying that this is something that's been organized by the party and that the state has nothing to do in terms of providing security to them. While that may have some substance, the fact of the matter is they do hold some sort of responsibility to the citizens on the ground level.
Well, that's the question that would be will have to be answered by the administration and the local police, especially when we know that the matter has already reached the courts, especially the High Judiciary of Bengal, the Calcutta High Court. Probably the BJP may make a move, a legal move once again before the Calcutta High Court, alleging that there has been a contempt in terms of not abiding by the conditions that the Calcutta High Court had given in the first place to ensure that law and order was not disrupted. So obviously that would have to be answered by the state administration before the court, as and when and if it comes to that. But let me tell you that these kinds of violent confrontations between the two sides is something that we are seeing happening on the streets of not just Kolkata, but also in the countryside, in the districts, in the villages, all very too often. And this is kind of a curtain raiser that most people are apprehending to be in the run up to the panchayat elections, which will take place probably in the month of either February or March, which is why the kind of build-up or the violent build-up that we see, happening on the ground level.
And that is what in fact, I was just about to come to, Shaukat. Is this just a trailer to the film that's about to arrive? Because when the panchayat elections dates have still not been announced, and this is the kind of violence that we are witnessing on ground level, what is one to expect when the panchayat election date is announced?
Well, going by the experience of 2018, the last panchayat elections, one can easily anticipate or rather apprehend how things would look when the panchayat poll dates are actually announced and the process of electioneering actually starts when opposition party candidates try and not just put forward their candidature in terms of filing nominations, but also try and make their entry into the hearts and minds of the voters on the ground. And going by the experience of 2019, it can just be very, very bad, simply because of the fact that in 2018 we saw major violence getting reported from various parts of the state in the panchayat polls at that point in time. The BJP alleging that a significant majority or the significant amount of their candidates were not even allowed to file their candidature. They were not even allowed to file their nominations.